Van Gogh. He's immediately captivated by the vastness of nature. So he wanted also the sort of solitude and the loneliness and to be really absorbed by nature.
I really love to be in nature, but I think we really separated from nature, and we just have to take responsibility for our actions.
We are in the Van Gogh Museum, in the treasure room, with one of the most precious paintings done by Van Gogh, his famous sunflowers. Well, as you can see, it's all painted in yellow tones. It's yellow, it's ochre, it's even sort of goldish tone, which was quite peculiar for his time. But if you look closely, it looks like the sunflowers are getting alive. It's like the sort of nature or even human beings. You see one sunflower which expresses a certain sorrow, the one is very cheerful, the other one is a bit melancholic. So you see within this variety of sunflowers multi-layered sort of characters. Well, the almond blossom is a very special picture because if you first look at it, you don't know where you're standing. Are you lying on the ground and looking above? Or are you standing in front of a window and you're looking outside into the nature? It's also a very special meaning because there's always a symbolic meaning. Blossoming of the trees is always associated with new life, a new birth. And there was actually a new birth in his family because his brother and his wife, so Theo and Jo, got a son, Vincent Willem. And this painting was actually dedicated to Vincent Willem by Vincent. Everybody who, has a certain affection for art will be linked to Van Gogh one day or another. And through the arts, he had a message. He wanted to reach the people. He wanted to express his emotions, his inner feelings through the brushstrokes, through the colors. And it's still emotional and moving for everyday people, I think, nowadays and all over the world. Art is about looking. It's about first looking and then experience things and then be aware of what you're looking at. And that's where Van Gogh, where his art is so good in. For example, one aspect of nature, be it a branch, be it a very simple flower, or be it just a blade of grass. And then you realize, okay, the beautifulness, the aesthetics can be in just a very simple thing. And it's all around you. You just have to look around and you feel the nature and you respect also nature then.
I am Wouter Venema, and I'm a Dutch artist based in Rotterdam. Yeah, nature is a big inspiration for me, and I guess also really on my mind is current state of nature, and I'm also really interested in the history of how we look at nature. So, for example, what are the stories around a certain kind of plant? I make a lot of different sorts of art, but drawing is always my starting point. When I started drawing, I wanted to combine them with film, so I made animations, and I really like this combination of drawing and another medium, so that's what I'm trying to do all the time. I use it with glass and with photography and exploring the boundaries of drawing, I guess. I was investigating drawing, and then I read one letter Vincent van Gogh wrote to his brother Theo, and he describes how he sees drawing. He says, drawing is like an iron ball. You have to try to puncture this ball or break it with drawing. So this ball is in between what you can and what you want. So what you want is behind this ball, and I thought that was really on point to describe it like that.
Well, Wouter Venema is an artist whom we had in the museum. Actually, we had an exhibition when I gave myself a quote from one of the letters of Vincent. Wouter was very much inspired by the fact that there is a sort of force of drawing. The art piece which we showed was 1-to-1, which was the fact that Wouter took a pencil and draw directly, not on paper, but on the wall of the museum. So it was a direct confrontation of pencil and wall. And he made a sort of mind map of Vincent, very meticulously drawn lines, which gave a very, let's say, eerie touch to the wall. And it was a very special experience also for him to be able to draw directly in the museum of his beloved artist, Vincent.
The project I'm working on right now is a research project, glazing experiments. I use ash of found plants. A plant that's called in English the great mullein is associated with protection, or people thought it would protect against witchcraft, for example, also against lightning storms. I'm really interested in these kind of stories. For this test, I found ashes and cleaned them, and then I made a glaze recipe with it. Yes, I just made the glaze from mixed wood ash and some other components, and now I made it into a glaze. And I'm researching what the effect is of different ashes on glazing on tiles. See what different colors you can make with different ash of plants. And I was really curious how it would look when you fired it in the oven. What I already found out is that if you have the exact same recipe and you use a different kind of ash, the color will be really different. So literally blue and yellow, so contrary colors.
Actually, what we can say is that Van Gogh is really experimental throughout the whole career. Van Gogh is constantly searching for new methods, new way of applying the paint. He sees art as a sort of medium to express himself and to spread a certain message around about, well, on the one hand, respect for nature, on the other hand, just look around and see the beauty of it all, the creation of lights, of space, etc. So he wants us to look and be aware of the surrounding, and especially also the people around you.
I personally feel we should take more responsibility for how we treated nature, and I would love to see a deeper connection with it, and I hope, in general, as human beings, that we can inspire each other to feel this connection again.